cheerleading, they probably imagine a group of girls half-heartedly cheering on the sidelines for a bunch of football players. They also may think that cheerleaders don't need any type of skill in order to do cheerleading, or that they don't have to train to be successful in what they do. However, that is far from the actual truth. When I type in the word cheerleaders on Google, a bunch of images come up of sideline cheerleaders dressed in very skimpy and provocative outfits. This is a very inaccurate representation of what cheerleaders really are and what cheerleading is about. Being a cheerleader is about the tiring, long practices, the countless painful injuries he or she may encounter at every practice, and the thrill of competing for a whole stadium full of people to win that trophy that every single all-star team is after.
That for the most part, stereotypes are bullshit. Some have an element of truth, but a lot of them are just a way of expressing hatred.
This is the story of my life as a competitive cheerleader. I have been cheering since I was 8 years old and have won 2 national championships. I used to dread going to practices because I knew how much work I was going to have to put in that night for the 2 hours that I was in that practice gym. I recently just stopped cheering in my junior year of high school to get a job, but before I started working and I was cheerleading, I had cheer practice at least 3 to 4 times a week, plus competitions on the weekends. We would practice for 2 hours at a time or more, and by the end of the night, I'd be exhausted. I can't even tell you how many times that I have gotten an injury from being at cheer practice. I have gotten kicked in the head, elbowed in the nose, kicked in the mouth, and many other injuries that I had to push through in order to practice to perfect my routine. However, I realized how much it was all worth it once I got onto that competition mat and was ready to compete for thousands of people for a national champion's title. The thrill of competing and having a whole crowd of people cheering for me and my team is indescribable and can't compare to any other feeling in the world. Training for competitive cheerleading is as tough as for any other sport. In the practice gym is where I received most of my injuries from cheerleading. There was a specific time that I remember when I was in 7th grade and I had just gotten my braces. A flyer had come down and tried to twist and kicked me in the mouth and broke the bracket on my braces and sliced my lip. I had to go to the dentist the next day and have them fix it after they already had just put them on the day before. There was also another time that a flyer tried to do a double twist out of a stunt and ended up twisting the wrong way and kicked me in the head so hard that I believed I had a concussion. There have also been times where the flyer has come down and elbowed me in the nose so hard that my vision had blacked out for a couple seconds. Today, cheerleading involves skills which require the strength of football, the grace of dance, and the agility of gymnastics. This is an actual video of me and my team competing at a cheerleading competition. A cheerleading competition is an event where every team gets to show off their routine and show all of the other teams and the judges how hard they work to make their routine look perfect. All of the stunts that a cheerleader does while being on a senior team are very intricate, and these stunts aren't something that any person can just pick up and master overnight. Learning how to do these stunts and make them look on point is very difficult and takes a lot of hard work and practice. If a flyer was to fall from a stunt during a competition or someone was off count during the routine, that could cost the entire team a winning title. The reason cheerleading teams practice and train all the time is because they know that any small mistake could keep them from winning first place. It sounds like 100,000 frenzied sports fans screaming for their team during a close championship game in the bottom of the 9th inning or the last minutes of the 4th quarter. cheerleading team wins a national competition, that is when a team knows that all of their hard work is paid off and all of those long, late-night practices at the practice gym were worth it. In the last national cheerleading competition of my cheerleading career, I was lucky enough to walk away with the national champion's jacket. I hope that all of you now realize what competitive cheerleading is really about and will continue from now on to see cheerleading from a whole new perspective.